in all the years I've been with Golfbidder, I've never done a what's in the bag, but I can see your pictures on Instagram, and the guy said to me, Doc, you know, you have your chance to pick any of the clubs from our warehouse, so what is in your bag? Well, if you're expecting a very blingy and a very expensive bag setup, you're absolutely wrong. I've kind of become desensitized to all the golf club marketing over the years, and maybe that's a good thing because I've picked clubs that really work for me. So let's get started with it. My bag, first of all, I absolutely love my bag. It's a Mizuno Kilo bag. I like to carry the bag whenever I can. It's just super light, it's waterproof, and very importantly, it doesn't go floppy when you put it on a golf trolley. I hate that about the light stand bags. A lot of them, they just are super floppy and they slip through trolleys. This one doesn't. Wanted to tip over there, but it's a great golf bag. There it is. My driver. Well, I remember taking 5 or 6 down to the range the day that I picked this one. Tom Tanner was over getting a lesson with his professional, and yes, there are other drivers when you go on the range and you give a little bit of extra grunt, you know, that can go a bit further. But at the end of the day, you're looking for a driver that can hit you straight drives, because if you're in the fairway or in the rough, you're in the game. But if you're lost left or right, like I am a lot of the time, then you're out of the game. So it's not about distance for me really anymore. It's about hitting straight drives, and this Great Big Bertha Epic driver just works for me. Just a Fujikura stiff shaft. I just keep it at the neutral setting. But I just find that wherever I go in the world, whether it's America, I played a bit out in Abu Dhabi, Ireland, links courses, you know, you can just go out. It doesn't matter who you're playing with, you can find the fairway, and that means a lot for me. I don't have to swing it super hard, and it goes plenty far. It goes plenty far. So this is my driver of choice. I think it's a good one. Might have another look this year, but my Great Big Bertha Epic driver is fantastic. Fairway wood. I think it's probably my favourite club in the bag, and I think my M2 original fairway wood. I think that this, for me, my opinion just, I think this is the best fairway wood ever made. It goes as far as a driver if you want it, if you send it. I've done lots of testing, and tested one day with a friend of mine who plays international golf for Ireland, and he can hit this, outdrive his driver with it. It's just a super golf club, the original M2. Now I have a high launch, but I'm one of those really wristy late arrivers at the golf ball, so I tend to kind of punch it, and it suits me really well. I don't hit it too high because of that late arrival, but I think it's just a fantastic golf club, the original M2. My irons. Well, I was having to search around in the warehouse one day, and I came across these XR Steelhead Callaway. Now these are pro irons, but I am by no means a pro. I've always been between 3 and 6 handicap. 2.5 for a couple of years was probably my best, but absolutely no way a pro. Always loved cavity back, always loved a bit of offset, because I'm one of these wristy thumpers of the golf ball, and these XR Steelheads absolutely suit that down to the ground, because there's lots of offset there, there's loads of cavity on the back, and these C-taper, these are 120 shafts, but these are kind of these low spinning shafts. So I used to play graphite stiff shaft, and I could hit the odd shot and it would spin straight up in the air and it would just go nowhere, balloon up in the air. That doesn't happen with these. You get a lovely thumpy, low penetrating trajectory. You don't get any surprise shots that go 20 yards further, because they're just super consistent, really excellent shafts, and I love them. XR Steelhead Pro irons. I used to have a hybrid, but you know what, it was I had it in the bag for a couple of years. It was pristine, never hit because I never used it. I didn't even like the shape of hybrids really. I just kind of had it in there because I thought you kind of had to have one. But then I got that this ping crossover iron, hollow iron, loads of offset, bridges the gap between the fairway wood and my 5 iron, because the XR Pros start at 5, bridges the gap lovely. I use it a lot now, so I actually really like it. Ping crossover iron. So as you can see, Callaway TaylorMade Ping from Callaway. I've got several different brands in the bag. You know what, I'm not ashamed either, because they just do the job for me. Wedges, well, I just have Titleist Vokey SM5 wedges, but I have one different one. It's a Mizuno wedge, and kind of one of the golden rules of working in the golf industry, you know, you get offered a lot of free stuff, and kind of the golden rule is not to take it, or if we take it, kind of give it away to people. But we did a challenge on the Mizuno Tour Truck at one of the, I think it might have been the Irish Open a couple of years ago, Alex Thorne. I asked him, said, Alex, what like if a player breaks a club just before he's about to tee off, how long would it take to make a golf club to his specs? So he said, stick on your stopwatch there, time this, and he produced this wedge in about 2 minutes. Ground it, glued it, put the right shaft, got everything set up in about 2 minutes. That's how quick they can produce golf clubs. And he stamped it, Doc, then, so I had to take it, really. And it's a 60-degree wedge, Mizuno T7, boron, lovely blue finish. I still have it in the bag. I love it. My other around the green wedge, look, I could be embarrassed, but I'm not embarrassed about this anymore, really, because this wedge, it could be 25 years old. I think my dad might have bought it for me. There's like a huge amount of offset. It's all me. There's no name on it even, but it's my around the green. It's my comfort club. It's my get up and down. It's a ball shredder. It creates loads of spin around the greens, but it's just been in my bag forever, and I don't think there's any club that I would rather have in the bag. So I think the point is, there's my bag gone. I think the point is, it's perfectly okay to have a club that doesn't cost a fortune, that does a job for you. It's perfectly okay to have it in the bag, and this is my around the green wedge, so I love it. My putter, well, I used to be a belly putter, and I had Ping Crazy B. I think it was Jackland or Havre or one of those guys used it, but obviously belly putting was banned, and I kind of lost my confidence then putting. And then at this year's PGA show, I met the PGA Tour rep for Even Road, and I explained to him, I kind of lost the love because I could never get that belly putting feeling just with the normal sized or shafted putter. So he actually listened to me, and he says, I think I can help you. So he produced me this ER10 putter, which I always like to think that the ball was in front of my eyes and was like a train track. I'm here, the ball's out there, let's do some back and through train track putting, and it worked for me. And he actually made this putter to that spec, so it's much flatter. The head is much flatter, so I can have it out in front of me, and it really gives me the feeling of a belly putter. It gives me that same stable feeling. So if there is a bit of bling in my bag, this ER10 even roll putter is it. I've done a lot of lockdown carpet putting and some greens putting, but I can't wait to play golf with this and get the love of holding putts back, because I haven't really been holding a lot of putts in the last few years. My rangefinder, well, it's a Bushnell Z6 Jolt. I think if you buy a decent rangefinder, especially a Bushnell, you're one and done. They're just absolutely brilliant. They're kind of a for life item. FootJoy glove, Pro V1 ball, pretty. I kind of have the view that if you have decent golf clubs, you need to play with a decent ball if you want to get results and have a good. Your glove is the only connection between you and the actual golf club, so always have a decent glove and ball. And my towel, well, I'll show you my towel. That's my Ironman towel, and I've done 3 full Ironman races now, and kind of the biggest achievement of my life. But kind of the moral of the story is, to get good at something takes time, and to do an Ironman takes a lot of training and practice, and it's exactly the same with golf. You can have the best golf clubs in the world, but if you don't practice, it's very hard to expect to be good. So that is my what's in the bag. I don't know what you'll think of that, guys, but I love my golf clubs, and it's all about what works for you. I enjoy them. I can't wait to see your pictures on the Golfbidder Instagram page. I hope you liked the video. For me, for now, it's Donal out.